Once they ruled the skies. Now they cling to existence by a thread. These are the world's most endangered birds, and their fight for survival starts now. The world's most endangered birds. A race against extinction. The world's most endangered birds face critical threats from habitat loss, climate change, hunting, and invasive species. Here are some of the most critically endangered species as classified by the IUCN Red List. The Kakapo, the last flightless parrot. In the remote forests of New Zealand, under the cover of darkness, one of the rarest and strangest birds on Earth begins its nightly wander. Meet the Kakapo, the world's only flightless parrot, a bird so unique it seems almost out of time. Weighing up to 4 kilograms, with moss-green feathers and an owl-like face, this gentle giant cannot fly. Instead, it climbs trees with powerful claws and walks miles each night in search of food. But the Kakapo's quirks don't end there. It's nocturnal, smells like musty herbs, and lives longer than most humans, up to 90 years. And when it's time to mate, males inflate like a balloon and emit a deep, haunting boom that echoes for miles. Yet today, fewer than 250 Kakapo remain. Once thriving across New Zealand, they're now critically endangered, victims of rats, cats, and stoats brought by humans. With no natural defenses, they were hunted to the brink. By 1995, only 51 birds survived. But then, a miracle. Scientists, volunteers, and New Zealand's Maori people launched a last-ditch rescue mission. Every Kakapo now lives on predator-free islands, guarded 24/7. Each bird wears a smart transmitter, sending data on its health, location, even mating attempts. To boost numbers, scientists use artificial insemination, a first for parrots. And it's working. From 51 to 250 plus birds, the Kakapo is crawling back. But the fight isn't over. Climate change threatens their food supply, and genetic diversity remains dangerously low. The Kakapo is more than a bird. It's a testament to resilience. A reminder that extinction is not inevitable. But its future? That's up to us. The California Condor, ghost of the skies. Wings stretching nearly 10 feet, the width of a small car, this is the California Condor, North America's largest flying bird and a living relic from the Ice Age. With a bald head evolved for scavenging and a lifespan matching humans, up to 60 years, these majestic scavengers once ruled western skies until they nearly vanished forever. By 1987, only 27 condors remained worldwide. Poisoning, habitat loss, and deadly power lines had pushed them to extinction in the wild. In a desperate gamble, scientists captured every last bird for a captive breeding program many called impossible. Today, thanks to 40 years of tireless effort, over 500 condors exist, half now flying free across California, Arizona, Utah, and Mexico. But their comeback hangs by a thread. The deadliest threat? Lead poisoning. Just one bullet fragment in a carcass can kill a condor. Despite bans, lead ammunition still claims birds every year. Each new chick is a victory. Each tracked flight, a lesson. The California Condor remains a ghost, but now, a ghost with a future. Spixs Macaw, the last flight of the blue ghost. Deep in Brazil's unforgiving Caatinga, a flash of cobalt blue once danced through the sky. The Spixs Macaw, the rarest parrot on Earth, a bird so iconic it inspired a Hollywood film, and so vanishingly rare it became a ghost in its own homeland. With feathers like liquid sapphires and a voice that could mimic the desert winds, this parrot was the jewel of the Caatinga. But by the year 2000, the unthinkable happened. The wild Spixs Macaw vanished. Poached for the pet trade, its habitat bulldozed for farms, the species was declared extinct in the wild, surviving only in a few private aviaries halfway across the world. In 2022, after 22 years of absence, 8 Spixs Macaws were finally reintroduced to Brazil. But the fight isn't over. With fewer than 300 alive today, mostly in captivity, every egg, every fledgling is a fragile hope. The black market still hungers for them. A single Spixs Macaw can sell for over $200,000 on the illegal pet trade. Protection means armed guards, fake GPS trackers in nests, and teaching locals to see them as more valuable alive than stolen. This is the story of a bird that came back from the dead. Not through luck, but through obsession. The kind that moves mountains, replants forests, and refuses to let the most beautiful things vanish without a fight. The Philippine Eagle, king of the rainforest's last stand. Behold the herring Ibis, the bird king. With a 7-foot wingspan and eyes sharper than any lens, this is the Philippine Eagle, one of the largest, most powerful raptors on Earth. And it is fighting for its life. Evolution crafted a perfect predator. It can spot a lemur, snake, or even a monkey from a mile away. Its talons, strong enough to crush bone. For centuries it ruled these islands unchallenged until the trees began to fall. By the 1990s, 90% of its habitat was gone. Hunted for trophies, captured for pets, and left with nowhere to nest, fewer than 200 pairs remained. The Bird King was dethroned, not by nature, but by us. The fight to save the Philippine Eagle is a fight for the soul of the forest. It's a keystone species. Without it, the ecosystem unravels. And now, climate change brings stronger storms, wiping out nests faster than they can be rebuilt. Misunderstanding kills as surely as bullets. To save the eagle, we must save the people who share its land. Conservation isn't just science, it's justice. The Philippine Eagle does not beg for survival, it demands it. And in its wings, we see a choice. Will we be the generation that lets kings fall, or the one that crowns them again? The Javan hawk eagle, shadow of the forgotten forest. Meet the phantom of Java's jungles, a raptor so rare, even locals call it elang Jawa with reverence. This is no ordinary eagle. It's a living myth, and it's vanishing before we truly knew it. Evolution sculpted a master hunter, dagger-like talons, vision 8 times sharper than ours, and a stealth strike so fast, prey never hears death coming. For centuries, it ruled these forests unseen, until the trees started screaming. Java has lost 90% of its old-growth forests. The hawk eagle's kingdom shrank to postage stamp patches. By 2010, fewer than 300 pairs clung to survival, their nests dangling over coffee plantations and highways. This isn't just about saving birds. The hawk eagle is Java's ecological barometer. Where it thrives, the forest breathes. Where it dies, the land grows silent. The illegal pet trade craves their majesty. Social media fuels the poaching. One viral photo of a caged eagle can spark a dozen more captures. The Javan hawk eagle doesn't know it's supposed to go extinct. It fights for every clawhold. The question is, will we fight harder? Siberian Crane, the ghost of the frozen wetlands. In the frozen heart of Siberia, where temperatures plunge to minus 50 degrees Celsius, a ghost walks the wetlands. The Siberian crane, one of Earth's rarest birds and one of its most epic travelers. It flies further than any crane, 5,000 kilometers, from the Arctic to China, following ancient routes older than human civilization. This is a bird forged by ice. Its white feathers are armor against the cold. Its voice, a haunting, flute-like call, carries for miles across the tundra. But now, that call is fading. Once, they numbered in the tens of thousands. Today, fewer than 4,000 remain. Their migration, a journey once called the Sky Road, is now a gauntlet of death. The Siberian crane depends on 3 critical stops: Siberia's Arctic breeding grounds, China's Poyang Lake winter refuge, and the wetlands in between. Break one link in this chain, and the species falls. They mate for life. Their courtship is a ballet of leaps and bows, a bond that can last 30 years. But when wetlands vanish, even love isn't enough. Desperate measures are underway: artificial feeding, satellite tracking, even teaching captive cranes to migrate using ultralight planes. But the wild flocks keep shrinking. The Siberian crane doesn't know it's a legend. It doesn't know humans call it a living fossil. It only knows the wind, the ice, and the ancient call to fly. The question is, will that call echo into the future or fade into silence? The forest owlet, India's phantom of the woods. Meet one of the rarest owls on Earth. The forest owlet, so elusive, it vanished for 113 years and was declared extinct, until it punched its way back into history. Last seen in 1884, this tiny owl became a ghost. Scientists searched for decades. Then, in 1997, a miracle. Today, fewer than 250 survive in fragmented forests. Their entire world is smaller than Delhi, and shrinking daily. But this owl fights dirty. Don't let its size fool you. This is an apex predator. It hunts in broad daylight, takes on snakes twice its size, and claims territories with a scream that chills the blood. They mate for life in a world that's disappearing. Logging, drought, even anti-superstition campaigns. Locals once shot them as bad omens. The forest owlet is a master of survival. It outlasted the British Rage, the Industrial Revolution, and science's obituaries. Now, it stares us down, daring us to save its last shreds of forest before time runs out. Northern bald ibis, the Pharaoh's lost messenger. This is no ordinary bird. The northern bald ibis was once sacred, a messenger of the gods, carved into Egyptian tombs and worshipped by pharaohs. Now, it clings to survival on the very edge of the world. Evolution designed it for harsh beauty. That blood-red face warns rivals. Those rainbow-black wings deflect desert heat. And that beak? Perfect for digging up scorpions and lizards in barren cliffs. Once, these birds nested from Spain to Syria. Today, only 2 wild populations remain: Morocco's coastal cliffs and a tiny group in Syria, rediscovered in 2002 after being lost for 70 years. Every detail matters. These birds need cliffs to nest, but climate change is drying up their food. They need migration routes, but hunters shoot them as bad luck omens. Even their parenting fails without older birds to teach them. Yes, humans now dress as ibises and lead chicks south in plains. Because here's the tragic irony. We erased their roots, so now we must become the birds to save them. The northern bald ibis doesn't know it's a legend. It doesn't know kings once bowed to it. It only knows the wind, the cliffs, and the stubborn will to survive. The question is, will we finally heed its message? The ʻAlalā, echo of the Hawaiian Rainforest. This is the ʻAlalā, the last native crow of Hawaii. A bird so deeply woven into island lore, elders say its voice once guided souls to the afterlife. But today, its call has vanished from the wild, silenced by the very forces it once outsmarted. Brilliant, adaptable, a master tool user long before scientists recognized its genius. But intelligence couldn't save the ʻAlalā from rats that ate its eggs, diseases from mosquitoes, or forests raised for cattle. In 2002, the unthinkable happened. The ʻAlalā went extinct in the wild, surviving only in captivity, its ancestral forests eerily quiet. Reintroduction became a cruel lesson in humility. First attempts failed. Hawks picked them off. Others starved, unable to recognize food. The survivors? They clung to feeders like ghosts haunting their own homeland. They're relearning their language from tapes. Imagine forgetting the voice of your own people, only to hear it again as a stranger. The ʻAlalā doesn't know it's a symbol of hope. It doesn't know humans weep at its return. It only knows the forest whispers something familiar. And for now, that's enough. Spoonbuild Sandpiper, the tiny nomad on the brink. Meet one of evolution's quirkiest creations, the Spoonbuild Sandpiper. Weighing less than an AA battery, this tiny globetrotter migrates 8,000 kilometers each year, with a beak that defies logic and a future hanging by a thread. That ridiculous spoon? It's a masterpiece of engineering. Swipes through mud like a shovel through snow, filtering food in seconds. But this perfect adaptation is now its curse, because it can't survive anywhere else. In just 50 years, we've lost 90% of the population. Fewer than 200 breeding pairs remain. Their epic migration, from Russian Arctic to Southeast Asia, has become a gauntlet of death. Operation Head Start is their Hail Mary. Steal eggs from predators, hand-raise chicks. Then, the risky part, teach them to migrate by playing recordings of their parents' calls from light aircraft. Every chick matters when extinction breathes down your neck. But here's the cruel twist. Even if they survive captivity, they'll return to wetlands that may no longer exist. This isn't just about saving a bird. It's about saving the invisible highways that stitch our planet together. The mudflats that nourish millions of shorebirds and buffer our coasts against storms. The Spoonbuild Sandpiper doesn't know it's a symbol. It doesn't know armies of scientists track its every move. It only knows the ancient pull of migration, and that somewhere beyond the horizon there must be another meal, another tide, another chance. These birds aren't gone yet, but they're running out of time. Which one shocked you most? Comment below. And if you want a deep dive on any species, let me know. I'll make it happen. Stay wild, folks.